Hello, welcome to the first ever episode of Jeff Really Doesn't Know What He's Doing. And on this episode, I start off with model building. I really don't know what I'm doing on model building. There's plenty of people out there on the internet which know how to model build. I don't know how to model build, but maybe along the way I might actually figure it out. And I thought, maybe I'll be a little bit interesting. I will take it on a perspective of a guy who doesn't know what he's doing, and maybe then some people can learn some stuff, possibly, or maybe they won't, or probably the biggest thing is that I learned something. So that's probably the biggest thing here. So this is a new video camera for me as well. So I'm going to be also too learning how to use this video camera. So they're probably videos are probably not going to be very good either. But anyways, I'd like to just welcome everyone to my YouTube channel, which also I will have my collecting podcast or YouTube channel. I'm switching that from a collecting podcast to a YouTube channel. So that's also going to be on this channel, as well as a few other fun surprises which will be coming in the upcoming months. So all the 5 or 6 people who probably going to be watching this, I guess, welcome to this new YouTube channel of mine. And for the first podcast, I was talking to my friend Rick, and I was telling him about my my Airbrush, and he said, "Oh, he really wanted to see me use it." So I'm not sure if I'll get to it exactly in this one, but I will kind of show you my modeling setup and probably a ton of mistakes I made. And this is all stuff I got off the internet, but I've probably made mistakes along the way. So I'll show you what I do, and then go from there. And this all came out because the other day on Facebook, Rick and myself and another friend Brian were just kind of exchanging some pictures and text, and then I saw a beautiful model that Brian built of the Reliant, and then I was mentioning my Airbrush, and it's just like I wish I could build a nice model like Brian did. Maybe someday I will, but it's probably not going to be anytime soon. So, I just need to get things kind of figured out. And like say, these video series will be just basically me doing everything wrong. And I'll try and make them fun and funny. And hopefully, along the way, I'll actually learn something. I do watch a lot of other YouTube channels of proper model builders, and I do get a lot of their tips. I now just need to kind of put them into play. So anyways, I'm just going to kind of go through a little video here of my work area. So this is my work area. I guess it's kind of a messy looking area, or it looks messy on camera, that's for sure. It's a bit messy, but maybe not as messy as it looks like on camera. Just so let me kind of go around and maybe show you a few things here on my my work area. I think it's, like I say, I got a lot of this information off of YouTube. YouTube's a great resource for just about everything. The internet's a great resource for everything, but like say, that's kind of where I got a lot of this information from. The first thing here is my this is my spray airbrush area. I don't really have any other area to work on this. So I put it down in the corner of my basement here, and this is my kind of homemade spray booth, and it's basically all the information I got off of YouTube. Instead of spending a lot of money on expensive airbrush booths, which I would probably the quality of product that I'm going to be pumping out of it will be crap anyways, so no sense in spending like a couple $100 on a spray booth. This one probably cost me maybe $30-40 maybe at the most. I bought this this kind of nice clear container from a local hardware store, and then cut a hole out in the back of it because had to put a house fan in there. Just your typical bathroom fan or whatever. Let's see, let me get back there. Show you there it is. I've kind of hooked it up in the back. Basically what I did here is let me just take the filter off, is just basically I cut a hole in the back of this with my Dremel tool, actually, just a plastic cutting wheel or whatever. Measured this out, cut a square hole, and then I just kind of bolted this in here so it wouldn't jiggle loose, and then I also taped it up a little bit, kind of seal off any kind of cracks or whatever. And that's kind of my homemade spray paint booth. Then I got a vent hose. These are just the typical vent hoses that you would use in your you know, dryer, I guess, dryer vent hose. And I just kind of screwed it on, or I got a hose clamp and just clamped it onto the back of the house fan, and then it runs out the back and then out my window here. And you can see it's real messy. I got some dandelions there I actually probably got to go and pull out. I never go to that side of the building. My neighbor's door's on the other side, and part of me is just worried about running into him and having like an awkward conversation or something like that, because I'm an awkward type kind of guy. So I hardly go back there, but maybe I'll go out there early one morning and pull out those dandelions, because they're not looking very nice. But anyways, here's my the hose, which will vent out all the all the gases or whatever kind of stuff out to the outside, and poison my neighbor, I guess, or you know, pump all the bad fumes out to his side of the property and out of mine. So, and then as well too, I'll put this back in. This is I just, you know, part of a furnace fan, just to kind of filter things out. That's what I did as well. So that's basically my spray booth. And then here's my handy dandy airbrush compressor that my lovely wife bought me for Christmas, as I really wanted one. So she bought me this. I just got it set up. The real crazy thing about this was, let me just pull this out here. Okay, so I pulled out the air compressor. It's called a Pash. It's a Pash air compressor. Some company, I guess, that makes air compressors. I bought it, or my wife bought it for me at a local hobby store. So anyways, crazy thing is, when I got it, this little piece here, there we go, this piece right here, it's kind of a moisture trap and regulator. So this is kind of where you set your PSI, and I set it on. It was just leaking like you wouldn't believe, just hiss, 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 hiss. And then I got it tightened up, but it was like on, it's supposed to be horizontal, and it was on vertically, and I was just like, I don't think that's right. So I sent an email off to the vendor, the people who built this thing, but of course I never heard back from them. I guess I shouldn't be surprised about that. But anyways, I never heard back from them. A long story short. So anyways, so I was thinking about it, and I was going, this thing really needs something to kind of seal the pressure in. So I just went to the hardware store, and I'm not sure if you can see it if I would focus properly or zoom in properly. But basically, I bought like a little O-ring, which I attached to the kind of the threaded area of the compressor, and then I just wrapped it quite a bit with Teflon tape. All these parts are now wrapped with Teflon tape, and now it doesn't hiss or anything like that. It was really vibrating as well too. So, and also too, I can have the regular sitting at the proper way. So, and then my next adventure was what to set the PSI to, and I didn't really know. So looking around, apparently they say somewhere, when I first started this, I was doing it at like really high, like 60 psi, and I was doing some airbrushing the other day, and I was going, well, this doesn't seem to really doesn't do anything, eh? And I think it was just because I was spraying it, you know, just such a high psi. Kind of what I was reading around. I guess apparently that you should have it at a lower psi. I guess like a, I don't know, it said something like 10, 20, 30 psi. So I have adjusted it. It took me a while to figure out how to adjust the PSI on this regulator. Just the instructions weren't very good, and I'm kind of an instruction type kind of guy. So anyways, if I don't got good instructions, I'm kind of lost. So that was it. Anyways, I'm kind of rambling on here. I'm not sure how long YouTube allows videos for, so I better move on here. But maybe I'll just click on the air compressor, and you can see that it will get to a certain point, and then it'll click off. And then I'll grab my airbrush here, because I've got it set at about 25 psi, so it'll just compensate itself. So I'm not sure, I might drop this down a little bit more. I'm not sure. Here's my airbrush. It's nothing fancy. It's just a kind of a cheap old Aztec airbrush. Got it for Christmas a few years back, and I'll probably upgrade this one in the near future. But for right now, plenty good to use. So the airbrush or the compressor goes on and off. Just going to turn that off, and then just to release the pressure, just release the pressure. So I'm happy that I got the compressor working. Like I say, here's my cheap Aztec airbrush kit. It seems like they send it in a nice wood box, which probably worth more than the airbrush, but I think they call it a dual action type kind of, let me put this in frame, a dual action type kind of airbrush, in that you can push it down to, I think that's, push it down and pull it back, and this kind of regulates, kind of your airflow and your, and the amount of paint or whatever that you're shooting out. So of course, me being not a very smart guy, the other day I was working with my airbrush, and I had it down like right at the end here. And I was going like, there's no paint coming out of this. There's nothing. No, there's some air coming out. Hey, and I was just like, I was going, what is this? Hey, and I like spent like about 5 minutes trying to figure that out, and then I just realized I had to pull it back. Because I had on the setting, which is basically not taking any sort of paint. So Jeff, there, my first thing, I don't know what I'm doing, and that was the airbrush. Hey, and then yeah, so I spent a good time. And my first project was to work on this wonderful, oops, dumped some paint over there, work on this wonderful Star Destroyer that I built probably like 25 years ago, when I was like a young person. And I really didn't know what I was doing. If you could, maybe I'll just kind of zoom in here. I had this whole idea that when I built it, I didn't paint it, because I just figured that the color that they molded the plastic with was correct. And then I painstakingly painted all these little spots on the ship with like yellow and red colors. You can see a little bit of the yellow there. I have no idea why I did that, because the model never showed any of that kind of stuff. I'm not sure why I throw yellow and red into it. It looked real garish, actually. I had actually painted it all on the top here too, as well too. Like I really didn't know what I was doing. So I airbrushed the top of this, but really you don't see it. It's mostly primer here, because like I said, my airbrush on way too high, so I didn't really get any paint on there. So there's a few spots here and there, but a little later I'll do another video and show my first attempt, or my second attempt of airbrushing. And really how I'm not sure what I'm doing, and I'm not doing it right. I'm guaranteed, and hopefully people will be able to post on this, tell me what I'm doing wrong. And in the back here's the engine area, and I tried to cover it over, but the engines, again, I had this horrible like yellow and red painting to make it look like it was firing engines. I have no idea why I did that, because again, it wasn't correct to the movie or anything like that. Just didn't know, eh? So like I say, this is really just a test model. Maybe at some point in time, maybe I can actually get a proper model or get a new one and build it much better. But I didn't really build this. I slapped this together pretty poorly when I was a kid too, eh? Like I say, you can see the front here; it's all gappy, and the side of it here too. It's just like a bunch of like gaps in there. I was thinking I was going to spend some time and actually fill in those gaps, but then I thought, this is just practice model. This is not anything I'm ever going to showcase to anyone. Like I say, it's not a very nice model, so So, well, it's probably a nice model done by someone who actually knows what they're doing, but done by Jeff, it won't look all that good. Here's the bridge section. As you can see, I just primered it, but I didn't primer the bottom for some reason. I guess I'll have to go to priming shop and work on that. So that's my my project. My first project here on airbrushing is just to airbrush something I don't care, because that's what they always say. You know, start on some model you don't care about, and I care about this model, but I well wrecked it like years ago. So so that's kind of the that's a little story on that. There we go. A little fast transition over here. Here's my other part of my desk. This is where I do, you know, other type work, sanding work, and it's a little messy here. I'm working on a little tiny enterprise as well right now. I got some paints. I got some other paints here. You know, again, this is all stuff I've kind of researched off the internet. I don't know if it's right or not, but I'm probably going to make tons of mistakes, and that's what this video is here for, is just to see some guy making lots of mistakes. So that's what we got here. I got this nice little lamp my parents bought me. Nice, lights up the desk nicely. Also too, it's let's see here, it's got magnifying glass too, so if I need to get into some high detail, I can just kind of move it down and get into high detail. So that's kind of cool. I was really surprised when they got me this. And here's some other things. I got this cool keep my time here. I got this cool Boba Fett clock here, which he'll keep me up to date on what time it is. And then I got my Dwight Schrute as well too, watching me on. Maybe I'll get a little inspiration, because sure, if anyone watches The Office, but in the final Office, or the second last one, I think it was the second last one, Dwight was actually building a classic Battlestar Galactica model in his office. So maybe I'll be a little inspired by Dwight Schrute and take a model to work and build it. No, I won't do that. But you know, he is building a nice classic Battlestar Galactica model. Here's some other, like say again, some more supplies I've got. Got some fingernail polish remover, because it's got this acetone, and apparently that's good for like sometimes removing, you know, paints or putty or something like that. I've got this spot glazing putty, which all the pros seem to recommend, and I use it. Also got this white squadron putty, because you know, sometimes a red putty, it's not good in certain areas, based off of what I've learned on YouTube by people who are well more knowledgeable in this than me. Here's my here's a little kind of dust mask that I use if I'm doing some sanding or things like that. I think that's kind of important to do that. Like say, just so you're not breathing in those kind of fumes and all that kind of stuff. Actually, I thought I'd make a note on not the other type of mask I have. So this other mask here is it's for painting. So it's supposed to, it's a respirator or something like that. It's supposed to kind of block some of the paint fumes. So I highly recommend that if you're doing this. I'm sure most people already know this, so I'm not telling them anything new. But I know for myself, I really fumed myself. I was spray painting some parts of a model, and I think I inhaled a bit of the paint fumes, and it wasn't a good thing. So from now on, when I'm doing any spray painting, even though I have the spray paint booth, still going to wear this respirator as well, because I just don't really want to get any fumes on me. What else do we got here? This is my wonderful giant list of models I've got to get to. I buy a lot of models. I don't seem to build very many.